It was 6:42 a.m. on a Tuesday. I hadn't even brushed my teeth yet. I hadn't washed my face. I hadn't even pulled the covers off my legs. But somehow, in that groggy, half-awake state between the alarm going off and actually starting my day, I managed to spend 40... It wasn't for an emergency. It wasn't for a bill. It was for a limited-run vintage-style desk organizer that I saw on Instagram. I didn't even have to type in my shipping address. 2 clicks, 1 face scan, and $45 vanished from my bank account before my feet even touched the floor. This is my real-time journey, not expert advice. Here is exactly what happened. Honestly, looking back at it a few hours later, I felt this heavy pit in my stomach. It wasn't just the guilt of spending money I'm trying to save to get out of debt. It was the terrifying ease of it all. I didn't have to think. I didn't have to make a decision. The decision was made for me by a button that said, "Buy now." I'm sitting here, looking at my transaction history, and it feels like I was sleepwalking. The scary part is that if I had to get out of bed, walk across the cold floor to the kitchen, find my wallet in my bag, pull out my credit card, and type in those 16 digits, I never would have bought it. Not in a million years. The friction of just walking to the other room would have saved me $45. But because my environment, my digital environment, is set up for zero friction, I failed. I realized that my phone isn't a tool anymore, it's a slot machine that pulls money out of my pocket. I've been trying so hard to use willpower to stop spending, telling myself, just don't do it. But at 6:42 a.m., willpower doesn't exist. My environment was stronger than my willpower. I was set up to lose before I even woke up. So after the shame of the desk organizer incident wore off, mostly because I realized I don't even have a desk that needs organizing, I got angry. I sat down at my kitchen table with a notepad and a timer. I wanted to see exactly how rigged the game was. I wanted to audit my digital environment. I decided to run a time trial, a literal race between the two versions of myself, the spender and the saver. First, I tested the spender. I unlocked my phone and opened the shopping app where I bought that organizer. I pretended I was going to buy a coffee mug. I started the stopwatch. Tap, tap, Face ID. Order placed. I stopped the watch. 11 seconds. It took me 11 seconds to spend $15. And honestly, it would have been faster if my internet hadn't lagged for a second. Then I tested the saver. I reset the stopwatch. I wanted to see how long it would take me to transfer that same $15 from my checking account to my high-yield savings account, or even just to make an extra payment on my credit card. I opened my banking app. First, it didn't recognize my face because the lighting in the kitchen was weird, so I had to type in my password. Friction. Then it sent me a 2-factor authentication code via text. I had to leave the app, get the code, come back, and paste it. More friction. Then the dashboard loaded. I had to find the transfer button, which is tiny and hidden in a bottom menu. I selected from checking, then to savings. I typed in 15 $. I hit review. I hit confirm. I stopped the watch. 58 seconds. The difference doesn't sound like much, 47 seconds. But in the world of habits, that is an eternity. Spending was effortless. It was the path of least resistance. Saving was a chore. It was an administrative task. I kept digging. I started looking at the apps on my home screen. What was the first thing I saw when I unlocked my phone? Instagram ads. TikTok influencer must-haves. Amazon one-click buy. Uber Eats. Every single one of these apps had my credit card information stored. They were all logged in permanently. They were ready to take my money at a moment's notice. Then I looked for my financial tools. My budgeting app? It was buried in a folder on the 3rd page of my screen called Utilities. I literally had to swipe 3 times just to see the icon. My banking app? Buried in the same folder. And unlike the shopping apps, the banking app logs me out every 5 minutes for security. I realized I had designed my own digital trap. I had built an environment where spending money was as easy as breathing, and managing my money required an act of Congress. I looked at the numbers on my notepad. Spending friction, 2 clicks. Saving friction, 8 clicks. Plus 1 password. Plus 1 text code. It made me realize something huge. I've been beating myself up for having no self-control. I've been telling myself I'm just bad with money. But looking at this map of my phone, I don't think it's a character flaw. I think it's a design flaw. I am fighting against user experience designers who are paid millions of dollars to remove every single speed bump between me and the buy button. And on the flip side, I'm putting speed bumps in front of my own savings goals by hiding the apps that actually help me. I realized that if I wanted to win, I couldn't just try harder. I had to change the map. So I spent the next 20 minutes flipping the script. I decided to make my life intentionally annoying. I went into my browser settings and deleted every single saved credit card. I went into Amazon and removed my default payment method. I actually deleted the shopping apps off my phone entirely. If I want to buy something now, I have to open a browser, log in manually, get up, find my wallet, and type in the numbers one by one. I am forcing myself to have that walk to the kitchen moment for every single purchase. I'm reintroducing the friction that technology stole from me. Then, I did the reverse for my finances. I dragged my banking app and my budgeting tool out of that buried utilities folder and put them right on the bottom row of my home screen. Prime real estate, right next to my text messages. Now, every time I unlock my phone, the first thing I see isn't a temptation to spend, it's a reminder of my goal. This is the 1% shift for me this week. It's not about becoming a monk or having ironclad willpower. It's about acknowledging that I am human and that I am tired. When I'm tired, I take the path of least resistance. So I just need to make sure that the path of least resistance leads to my savings account, not a warehouse in wait. I tested it out this morning. I saw another ad for a gadget. My thumb instinctively went to click, but then I remembered I'd have to go find my wallet. And honestly, I was too lazy to get up, so I didn't buy it. That laziness saved me $30. And for the first time, my laziness is actually making me richer. My 1% mission for tomorrow is just to delete one saved credit card from one website. That's it, just one. I want to make it slightly more annoying to spend money in at least one place. What is your 1% step? Will you move your banking app to your home screen? Let's share our small wins in the comments below. I am not a financial expert or advisor. This content is for documenting my personal journey and for entertainment purposes only. Please do your own research before making any financial decisions.